All right, if you're an investor, a founder, or an entrepreneur here in Romania, you're about to find out about the one document that could literally save your business. We're diving deep into the Romanian Shareholder Agreement, and believe me, it is the most critical tool for any business partnership. Let's get into how this thing can be the shield your company absolutely needs.
So let me just ask you a question, right off the bat. When you think about the biggest threats to your company, what pops into your head? Is it the market? Cash flow issues? Maybe a new competitor breathing down your neck?
Well, here's the thing. For most partnerships and startups, the real devastating risk, it doesn't come from the outside. It's internal. It's that co-founder fallout, that investor disagreement, that messy exit that you never, ever saw coming, all because you didn't have a plan.
And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. Romania's default legal framework. See, if you don't make your own rules, you're just relying on the standard system, which is basic and, to be honest, can be really dangerous for your business. Let's look at why.
Just imagine two different worlds for your company. Over here on the left, you're playing by the default rules. It's a world where whoever has 51% of the shares calls all the shots, disagreements turn into total gridlock, and some stranger could literally become your new business partner tomorrow. Now, look to the right. This is the world you build with an agreement. Here, you make the rules. You protect the minority shareholders, and you create a stable future.
So how do you actually build this better world for your company? Well, that's exactly where the shareholder agreement comes in. The best way to think about it is as the private, totally confidential blueprint for your company's success.
To put it simply, it's a private contract just between the shareholders. That's it. It's where you agree on everything, from who's in charge of what to how you handle a fight, all completely behind closed doors. It works alongside your public company documents, but it adds this incredibly crucial layer of detail. And this is where you really see the key difference. Your company's articles of association, those are mandatory and they're public. Anyone can go look them up. They're for the outside world. The shareholder agreement, though, is optional and 100% confidential. This is where you put all the sensitive stuff, the real voting agreements, the specific formulas for sharing profits, the exit plans. It's your internal rulebook.
Okay, so you're on board. You know you need one. But what actually goes into this thing? Let's break down the essential pieces, the clauses that give this document its real power. First up, money and ownership. This is the foundation, right? We're talking about who's putting in what. Is it cash, assets, or that brilliant idea? And this is huge. The agreement has to clearly state that any intellectual property belongs to the company, not the individual founder. Then you decide how to slice the pie, how profits get shared or reinvested. And so important for growth, you set clear rules for future funding so the early guys don't get unfairly diluted down the line.
Next, power and control. Who's in the driver's seat? This part lays out the key management roles, but more importantly, it creates a balance of power. You specify which massive decisions, like say selling the company or taking on a huge loan, need a supermajority vote. This is the shield for your minority investors. But, and this is a super important Romania-specific detail, so listen up, you cannot legally force someone to vote a certain way here. The power of the agreement comes from creating clear financial consequences if they go against the plan, not from actually forcing their vote.
And finally, you have to plan for what's down the road, the future and the exit. What happens when someone wants out? Well, you include clauses like a right of first refusal, which gives the existing partners first dibs on buying the shares. You add tag-along rights, so if a majority owner sells, the little guys can join the deal. And drag-along rights, so minority owners can't block a great sale for everybody else. And what if you get completely, totally stuck? You can add what's called a Russian roulette clause. It's a wild mechanism where one partner has to name a price, and at that price, they must either buy out the other or be bought out themselves. It's a powerful way to force a fair solution and avoid total chaos.
All right, so knowing what to put in is huge. But you know what's just as important? Knowing the common, costly mistakes that people make all the time when drafting these agreements in Romania. Think of this as your do not do list. Number one, like we said, trying to force a vote. It just doesn't work here. Number two, forgetting that some rules, like who you can sell shares to, also have to be in your public articles to really hold up. Number three is a massive trap for startups, just copy-pasting a US-style vesting schedule. It won't work. It has to be built using Romanian legal tools like call options. And lastly, writing a non-compete clause that's way too restrictive, well, a court will just toss it out completely.
So, after all of this, it becomes pretty clear, right? This is not just another legal document. It's time to stop thinking of it as a cost and start seeing it for what it truly is, a core investment in the stability and the future of your entire business.
So let's get practical. What does this investment actually look like? As you can see, a professionally drafted agreement for a pretty standard company is going to run you between 500 and 1,500 euros, and it'll take a few weeks. Now, yeah, you can find a free template online, but given all the local legal quirks we just talked about, that is a massive risk I really would not recommend taking.
Now let's flip that coin. What's the alternative? Well, the potential cost of a shareholder dispute can easily blow past 50,000 euros in legal fees alone. And that doesn't even count the lost time, the stress, and the very real possibility that it destroys the business itself.
So let's just put those two side by side. You have that 50,000 euro nightmare versus a 1,500 euro solution. When you look at it that way, the choice is, well, it's not really a choice, is it? It is one of the best insurance policies your business could ever buy. You know, at the end of the day, it really all boils down to this. A good shareholder agreement isn't about mistrusting your partners. It's about creating a clear, fair, and stable foundation so that everyone can focus on what actually matters, building an amazing business together.
So I'll leave you with this question, one to really think about for your own company. Do you have a plan for when you disagree? Do you have a blueprint for the future? Is your partnership truly built to last? Thanks for joining us.